Hey, what's up guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. All right, today I'm going to do a quick video on 3 high safeties and how it can help versus that dreaded tight end trips with the tight end attached to the trip side. I'm not talking about trips closed with the tight ends on the back side. I'm talking about where the tight end is number 3 to the trip side. All right, make sure you check out some of our partners' dome hats. It's the headwear company we use to play fast football in the school I'm currently at. This is one of my dome Rydell. All right, our Protect and Perform Rydell hats, snapback. You can see how you can change and make all their hats are customizable. They have an online hat generator, an online custom hat builder, so you can change the style of hat, you can change the color of the panels, the stitching, the button on the top. It can be snapback, it can be Velcro, it can be fitted. All right, so it's 100% customizable. You design the hat with your logo. If you're a business, if you're a sporting company, or you have a team, whatever it is that you want to support or you want to have hats made for, check out Dome Hats, completely customizable. Every hat has a story. Make sure you let Dome help you tell your story of your hat. All right, Baker Sporting Goods, which is the company we use for our uniforms, are distributed through Baker Sporting Goods. My coach's gear, my sideline gear, my practice gear, the stuff we wear under our uniform, our spirit packs, any of my weightlifting stuff is all through Baker Sporting Goods. They were also a sponsor of our high school media day, so they made cool shirts like this for coaches and players. So make sure you check out Baker Sporting Goods. Just Play Football, a more powerful way to present. All right, it's digital software that takes your program to the next level. It's got interesting features where you can quiz your players on playbooks and game plans, so that you can actually have them take quizzes and see what answers they know, what they don't know, see how much they really know about your playbook and your game plan. It's also the best, in my opinion, the best play drawing diagram tool on the market, or play drawing tool on the market. It's what I use if I'm going to do webinars or if I'm going to speak at any clinics. I always use Just Play, so make sure you check them out. GameStrat, sideline replay company we use at the high school that I'm currently at. If you're looking for a highly reliable, highly affordable sideline replay system, make sure you check out GameStrat. Customer friendly. They want to help coaches. They do an amazing job, and their equipment has been really, really easy to use. We've had no issues unless it's been user error on our part. DifferenceUSA, the ultimate striking machine. Get thousands of reps without needing a partner. You can hook it up to your racks in your weight room. You can hook it up to your squat racks or any of your other multi-purpose racks in the weight room. You can bring it on the field with you and hook it up out there. You get thousands of reps. You don't need a partner, just you and the pad. Different tensions in the coils, which make it tougher to, lev the pad in. As the kids get better at striking and stronger, you can change the tension in the coils. Check out DifferenceUSA. HighandTight ball security training aid that's got instant auditory feedback. You have to hold the ball in the proper position with the proper points of pressure in order to hear it beep. It's got sensors inside the panels. You hold it correctly, you hear it beep. As soon as you hear it beep, that's where the ball needs to be. Anything else you're doing with the ball, wrist below elbow, elbow out, no pressure in the rib cage. If you don't have the right points of pressure, you don't hear the beep. It builds the instant auditory feedback that kids can hear and know right away how to build muscle memory that, boom, I hear the beep, that's where the ball should be. Check out HighandTight. All right, so the last couple months I've been looking at some 3 high safety stuff. All right, I've been intrigued by it for the last year or so. Haven't run any of it outside of a Tampa 2 deal that we use for passing downs, which really isn't the base or the crux of it a lot of times from the stuff that I've been studying. We haven't really used it as a base part of our package, and we are kind of moving that way and thinking that we may play some 3 high safety structures as part of our base package. We've been a 3 safety team, but never a 3 high safety team, and I'm going to explain why I think the lighter box theory and 3 high safety stuff can help you versus this dreaded trips formation, which can be a real pain in the neck. So when we're a 4-2-5 team with our 3 safety deal, what we got to figure out with 3x1 with the tight end attached. First thing we got to figure out is, do we need the backside safety to help us to the trip side? All right, in other words, if we're going to play our standard quarters adjustments, and we're going to play 2 read to the number 1 and number 2, and we're going to apex our down safety or our left safety to the side, the free safety's on the passing strength. If we're going to apex him in between 2 and 3, and he's going to be a guy that is swing deep at 3, okay, we're going to need our backside safety to come over here and play or poach 3 verticals so that our Mike isn't stuck running with 3 vertical as an A-gap run fitter, right? So if we have to borrow this weak safety from the backside, he becomes a guy that has to understand if 3's vertical, he's got to play him. But he's also a guy you may need on the weak side of your run scheme. You end up having to lock, out here with the corner. You end up having to lock your will on the back. You get a lot of rub deals, a lot of wheels into the boundary trying to get the back on your will meshed up. once they figure out that you're borrowing this weak safety, all right, to play to the passing strength. Now that's only one 3x1 adjustment, and the reason I've got that drawn up is if you're a standard 2-read team or a quarters team, a lot of times, depending on your personnel, especially if you're a dead 4-3 team and this is a Sam linebacker, you're probably going to play some version of this coverage because it lets you play 2-read with most of your players, and then it just takes the backside safety and it plays him on that issue of 3 going vertical. Okay, so this is going to be an adjustment that you see from a lot of people. It's called a lot of different things. I'm not even going to bother naming it. You know, I've heard it called solo. I've heard it called a different version of stress. I know that there's another stress coverage out there. I've heard it called triangle. I've heard it called Gilligan. I've heard it called poach. It's got so many different names, but the bottom line is it's 2-read to the front side with the backside safety, poaching 3 vertical. You end up being man-to-man with the corner and the will. So now on that weak side, this kid's got to be a 3 vertical player, but you may need him to get involved. Quarterback runs, other runs. Probably got to be some type of deal where either your end or your Willie becomes a force player on that side because you don't have that automatic weak side drop down. Very hard to get a bracket 2 for 1 or 3 for 2, all right, on this backside when he has to worry about 3 vertical. So that's one of the issues you're going to face. For us, one of our standard checks, we like to play the trips, is we like to X out the number 1, all right, and I believe this might be special in the same terminology or the college terminology. I don't know. We call it mix. Some people call it mini. We X out number 1, and then we like to try and play our safeties, all right, in a similar 2-read deal off of the number 2 and number 3 receiver. We normally kick our backers towards the trip side, all right, and then we kind of stack the Willie on the center. And then on the backside, it allows us, because we're not borrowing that weak safety, it allows us to bracket the backside single and now have different ways to support D-gap weak side runs. So it makes us a little bit better to the single. It makes us a little bit better to weak side run to the single. All right, but now we get susceptible to some things over to the trip side, some underneath spacing stuff. If we play with what I would call a 7 technique, all right, inside eye of the tight end, whatever you call that, now the Mike's got to get out here to be a force player to that side, and now 3 gets a little bit of an, if the back were to go weak, and the Willie drops weak, now you got 3 inside of the Mike, which is not great. The other adjustment is maybe you put the end out here in a 9 and make him the force player so the Mike can stay inside the box, inside of 3, and as pass drop, become a C-gap player in the run game, and now maybe the end has to support runs. So the biggest deal for us that we run into a lot of times is what's the split of number 2 and number 3? And if 3 were to go to the flat, can we get to number 2? So there's a lot of times where we don't like playing this adjustment as our base adjustment to tight end trips. Whether it's a run fit deal, whether we don't think we can fit runs to it, depending on where we got the Mike, whether it's a a passing game deal to that side that maybe spacing or underneath stuff we don't like. Whatever the issue is, those 2 structures for us, which a lot of times are 2 of the checks in 3x1 we might use, a lot of times we end up where we don't like them, and maybe we end up having to roll down and possibly play, all right, some type of 3 deep scenario with a strong rotation. So maybe we've got to take, all right, if our left safety is outside, maybe our free safety has to spin down or buzz down strong, and then we got to kick our backers the other way because now this weak safety becomes a 3rd player, and now we're playing a strong rotated 3 deep with the free safety coming down. All right, but this formation, all right, presents a lot of problems for us in our split field coverage deal and our standard 3x1 checks. Well, when I started looking at some of the 3-high stuff, all right, from the odd package, one of the things I noticed right away was with the 3-high stuff, what you can get yourself into is a situation where you present a lighter box, but now you can get out here and you can take, all right, one of your linebackers, for us it would be the Lion, and he can walk out to where you could still play your 2-read on this side, the way that most teams want to do. All right, our line and our where the will would be in our 3-3 defense. All right, so this would be Lion, Mike, and Ram for us in our personnel grouping. These 2 guys have to be able to play palms. They have to be able to play 2-read, that inside part where they're the swing deep player or 3. It's part of what we do, so we have to teach that anyway. So now he's in a position where he can play what he needs to play. Because now the biggest key is because you're going to gain the middle safety, the star, the joker, whatever you're going to call him, because you're going to gain him basically as that 3 player if 3 goes vertical. He's essentially becoming an extra linebacker, if you want to look at it that way. He's going to be part of the run game, and if 3 goes vertical, he can match him. So he's kind of like an old school Mike in a quarters defense, where he's part of the run fit, but if 3 goes vertical, he has to match that vertical. If 3 goes somewhere else in the coverage, he can just drop himself down to be an underneath player in the coverage. So you're really gaining kind of an extra linebacker in theory. And now on the backside, we can leave the backside safety in the corner alone so that we can play all of our bracket deals. All right, and for argument's sake for us, all right, we've got Sky, we've got Hard, we've got Cloud. All right, for those of you that play cone coverage, whatever your deal is to that backside single, now you can get yourself in a situation within your split field coverages where you can play the backside single the same. So for us, if we rolled him down to Sky and we played him back kind of off the half or the deep routes of number 1, all right, now we're going to gain that immediate, all right, weak side D-gap play. We're going to feel better to weak side passes if they try to go weak side. We're going to get 3-on-2 to the weak side. We feel better with edge runs, speed option, quarterback runs, quarterback stretch, or anything to the weak side. We feel better about that because we know that we're rolling down an extra support player, extra D-gap player. We feel like we're a little bit lighter in the box, which is the theory, because this guy has got to be your dude that shows up and makes a bunch of plays. So he's going to match 3 if 3 is vertical, but he's also going to show up down here in the run game and be part of the fit. So now when you start looking at the numbers, okay, even though you're presenting a lighter box, and again, if you wanted to play this in tight or any other front you want to play where maybe you take the B gaps away, all right, and now you force the ball to go a little bit wider, not sure to this side if you would do that with the tight end there, you'd probably play more of a standard 5. But any way you want to do it, you're going to present a little bit lighter box, but that middle safety, the joker, that extra guy, he's going to be the guy that needs to show up in the run game, but he's going to alleviate the problem of 3 vertical. So that when you get 3 vertical, that middle safety takes that and you don't have to worry about it, which means you can play all of your split field coverage deals the way you always do to the 2 receivers out wide and to the single on the backside. Okay, so again, there's a lot of 3 high safety stuff out there. We are just kind of diving into it ourselves. There's a lot of good material out there that you can look at for 3 high safety stuff and stuff that is a lot, that teams that play it in more of, 3 deep, man free, and then teams like Iowa State that play a lot of split field deals with that 3 high coverage. Okay, but the bottom line is the added safety high that is essentially an extra linebacker. Don't get it twisted now. He's really a linebacker in the passing game and in the run game. You present a light box, you give yourself an answer to 3 vertical. He's going to be involved in the fit, and now you're going to get that light box with those 5, but then you're going to get 6, 7, 8 ready to roll, or it could be the corner, whatever coverages you're playing. You're going to get those guys ready to roll real quick versus those 1 back runs that you need to defend. So when I go back and forth between our normal split field deals with 3 safeties and then 3 high safety coverage, I find some things that I don't like a little bit, but then I find some things that I really like. This is one of the things that I really like. I think it makes this formation, all right, on paper, it makes this formation a lot easier to defend. Whether or not physically you can defend this formation with that box, all right, is a lot to be determined. At least at our school, I know it is. But in theory, watching the college schools do it, and some now you're seeing the lighter box theories in the NFL. Guys are doing it. They're canceling gaps. They're moving around. Maybe they're 2-gapping, but they're finding ways to present that box, make the ball get run, and then when it gets run, they're finding ways that this guy's making a ton of plays. They're still getting their rotations and their brackets on the backside. So if you haven't checked out any 3 high safety defenses, you need to go ahead and take a look at it. It could be an answer. You probably need a really good player at that middle safety spot. That's probably always going to be the issue. The ball's going to find him a lot if you teach him correctly. He's going to have to make a lot of tackles, maybe some open field tackles, but he's got to be able to play downhill. If he's making tackles at 8 yards, it's a waste of your time. He's got to be able to get downhill, make tackles at 2 to 3 yards, but he gives you the ability to play that 3 vertical, so when you're a split field, middle of the field, open team, all right, if you don't have the middle close and 3 vertical, or, if depending on if you got to borrow a backside safety and create other issues, teams are going to go after that. If it's 2x2 and you're middle of the field open, they're going to try and attack that. That middle safety gives you that 3 vertical player, that protection in the middle of the field if you get certain releases, because it'll become pattern match deals where when you're playing it with 2 read or quarters or things on the outside, and he becomes more like an extra Mike or another Mike for 3 vertical, he's going to protect the middle of the field. So it allows you a lot of options to do a lot of neat things. I am looking into it. I'm looking into it very very intently. I'm looking into it from odd and even. I think there's ways to do it out of even. So in the off season, I'm kind of researching a bunch of things on my own. But I appreciate everything you guys do for PlayFast. Click that subscribe button. We're almost at 21,000 subscribers, which is amazing. Turn your notifications on so you know every time we do a video or we go on YouTube Live. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you like this or don't like it. It lets me know how to present the information, the type of information you like. Leave a comment. Every comment that gets through on my side that I can see, I try to respond to. So again, if you're playing football in the spring, God bless you. It's possible. We did it in the fall. We got in all 10 games. All right, have your plan, work your plan, stay safe, stay socially distant, wear your mask, disinfect, wash your hands, wash your equipment, do all the things you need to do and you'll be just fine. Good luck to you. All right, so again, thanks for everything you guys do for PlayFast. Remember, you won't play well until you play fast. And I'll see you guys next time.